Spencer, I got to imagine that's about the best way this road trip could have worked out for you guys, the way it did. Just how happy are you with how things worked out the last few days?
Yeah, going down there to get 2 wins on the road is a huge start to the series. Puts us in a good spot coming home here. And now we just got to focus on making sure that we try to replicate the positive things that we did in Game 1 and Game 2 here on home ice in Game 3.
We talked after Game 7 about using that momentum and kind of taking it down with you. Is that how things worked out in your estimation?
Yeah, we did, and that was the key to Game 1 was we carried that momentum even after the short layoff of only 24 hours and then getting right back on the ice. We made sure that we utilized that momentum that we carried over from the first series in that Game 1 to try to – they had a few extra days off, so we were able to use that momentum, and that's exactly what we needed to do in Game 1. Game 2, we weren't as good. They came out and pushed us real hard, probably deserved the play of the game-wise. They probably deserved to win that hockey game, but JJ was huge for us in Game 2 and stole us a game.
You always talk about how home ice advantage doesn't really mean much these days, but the fact that you come home now and you have 3 chances to win 2 games and end this series at home, it's got to be a good situation.
Yeah, home ice is good, but like I've said, it's not a huge advantage in this league. Florida's won a ton of games on the road. We're a great road team, so we're more focused. Yeah, it's great. We're sleeping in our own bed. We get to play in our home locker room in front of our home fans, which is all positive things, but we still need to come out and play to our capability, because if we don't, there's no free nights in the playoffs. Even if you're home, road, doesn't matter. If you don't bring it, you will not be getting the result that you're looking for.
And we saw it against Reading in Game 6. They're not totally up against the wall yet, but they're right there, and that's when a team is really dangerous.
Yeah, that's a prime example. You bring up Game 6 against Reading. They didn't care that they were going on the road down 3-2 in a series. They came into our building and slapped us around pretty convincingly in a Game 6 where they're facing elimination. So the adage that you're going to come home and this series is far from over. I promise you that. That's a good hockey team. There's a reason that they finished first in our division. So we're going to have to make sure that we continue to be sharp in this series, even if we are at home.
And we keep seeing, we've talked about it before, but the veterans just really stepping up on the offensive end, whether it's Devin or Rowe, just the same guys seem to keep making the big plays.
Yeah, we're and on the other side of it, we've got guys defending really, really well that don't show up on the score sheet, that do a great job of shutting their top guys down, the Scott Fords, the Wade Epps, the Marcus Perriers, and then that's exactly what you need. Those guys defend well, and that's what you need them to do in the playoffs at a really high level, and then you need your offensive players to step up, like the Andrew Rose and the Joe Devins, who've scored some big goals for us in the first series, and now have continued to do that in Game 1 and Game 2, which is what you need come playoff time.
Do you think this team learned from Game 6 that, just because they're in control right now, they can't come out lackadaisical, especially tomorrow night? They need to come out giving 100%?
I hope so. And I think Game 2 too, because remember the series before, we learned a little bit. Game 2, we were better. We weren't terrible. But remember the first series against Reading, it was back and forth, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. So we were a little bit better in Game 2, and for us to get that game as well. And now it's just a matter of us. Okay, we've got a team in a tough spot right now. What are you going to do to continue that? Are you going to let them come back into the series, or are we going to continue to elevate our game and make sure that because teams don't pack it in this time of year, especially as you move further along in the playoffs. They only get hungrier and more desperate, and you're going to see Florida even play better than they were in Game 1 and Game 2 here in Game 3.